Dark Souls is really weird. We all know and love Dark Souls world design. There truly is no doubt that it was way ahead of its time. But, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's always that one place inside this game that just feels weird. I mean, the whole game feels weird, don't get me wrong, but we all have that one place in particular that feels especially out of place. Dark Souls makes a lot of use of so-called liminal spaces, and today I want to take a look inside said places and talk about what makes them truly feel weird. Beneath the undead berg, deep under the pits of the gaping dragon, lies a place even more infamous than Dark Souls itself, Blighttown. The architecture of this place is so bad it's unsettling. Once a thriving mine town, now remains to be a few staircases, ladders and planks poorly nailed on top of each other. The filthy, grindy scaffolding makes your stomach turn upside down. The deeper you go down, the more rotten and obscure the place as well as the enemies become. The place feels like the disgusting, poisonous swamp at the bottom made its way up to the walls and infected everything that exists. But it gets even more weird. Once you make your way to the first bonfire of the area, you get a great look at your overall surroundings and it feels unsettling. Once you take a closer look, you can see how empty this place actually is and you can feel something is missing. If we look at other fallen civilizations and ruins in this game, we can at least see or imagine where people might have lived, what they might have done. But Blighttown is different. While you are able to see the infected people and inhabitants of this town, we can't really make out where they lived and what they even did here. Yes, we know it was a mining town at one point, but where's the town? This place is so incredibly rotten to the core that without the lore in items, we can't even tell anymore what it once was. It is bleak, moldy and empty. And unlike other places in this game, we are not able to say what it actually was at one point, just by looking at it. It feels really liminal, it feels weird. If you play this game consistently, you will see yourself returning to the Firelink Shrine a couple of times. And this is one of the only places that feels good. And depending on how you play, there are even people living here. And it's one of the only places where music actually plays. It's nice, isn't it? Yes? Good, because now we will destroy that. If you make your way down a staircase, you'll find an old elevator, and once you go down, everything changes. In a matter of 10 seconds, you enter Anor Londo, and the vibe changes completely. The skybox is completely different. Everything is dark and surrounded by twilight. The skybox changes, the music is gone, and suddenly you are inside a flooded city surrounded by ghosts and undead humans. What happened? What, at least for me, makes Anor Londo so insanely weird is the way your whole view of your surroundings change in a matter of seconds. You go from a cozy home to please end my suffering pretty quickly. And yes, we have many other places like this in Dark Souls, but this is the one place where everything happens so fast. And no, not only because they rushed the second half of the game, no, because that's kind of how they wanted you to feel. Anor Londo was this big, new place in the Dark Souls world, a place of hope for the common folk, only to turn out to be a flooded, disappointing shell of what it once was. Anor Londo feels like an anomaly, because it's so vastly different from everything else we have seen until this point. It's like its own pocket dimension where everything doesn't make quite sense. You could say Anor Londo feels weird. After suffering the filthy piece of dirt, which is Blighttown, emerging out of the undead burg and obliterating Sans Fortress, you are allowed to enter the city of the gods, Anor Londo. We all know how we felt entering Anor Londo for the first time. It's the one area, the one shimmer of light. It's perfect. The city of the sun god is built on a giant plateau surrounded by a giant stone wall to keep the filthy peasants outside. This place is different than what we have seen before. Instead of mold, it's marmor. Instead of tiny statues of an abandoned goddess, it's a giant marmor and gold statue of Gwyn and his family. Even the sky is different. Once you arrive, the sky changes from a gray, bluish color to shimmering gold. We know something is off. It's too good to be true. And we turn out to be right. Anor Londo is not real, it's an illusion. If you make your way through the city, you realize how empty it actually is. There are only a few enemies you encounter here. Most are giant guards or the occasional killer priests. Once you make your way through the castle, you encounter many demons and silver knights, Gwyn's personal guard. You know that they are guarding something important. Once you are inside the castle and killed the last true knights of Gwyn, you are allowed to talk to Guinevere, Gwyn's daughter and princess of Anor Londo. Guinevere is giant and beautiful, godlike even. It feels like a reward, but still something isn't right about this place. You still don't get an explanation why everything is so empty. The answer, my friend, is right in front of you. For Guinevere is not real. Guinevere is an illusion, like this place. You only need to hit her once and the illusion breaks. And with Guinevere's illusion gone, the illusion of Anor Londo breaks as well. The city falls into the hands of darkness. The reason everything was empty before was because the gods abandoned their home long ago. But they needed to make it seem like everything is normal, everything is under control. It's a mere power play. Everyone is either already dead or abandoned the city a long time ago. Anor Londo is a lie. The gods are a lie. Anor Londo feels weird. Last but not least, we talk about the Kiln of the First Flame. It's the place where everything started and everything ended. The sheer scale of this place is unimaginable. It lets you know that this is the place, the important place for the gods. The First Flame is the place of life and death, heat and cold, gods and men. The flame is a primordial thing, like an outer god itself. On its peak, it was a giant, erupting fireball, powerful enough to burn everything to the ground and to power an entire world. But once we defeat Gwyn and choose to link the First Flame again, we see that the flame isn't as grand than it used to be. It's still giant and beautiful, but not the scale it once was. The fire is fading. Slowly, yes, but indeed, it does fade. And one day, it will die. We all will be surrounded by darkness. A new age. We see this to its fullest extent in Darksouls 3, where at once, if you choose to link the flame again, you get this. It's pitiful and only a shadow of what it used to be. The Kiln of the First Flame is weird, because while being this magical place, it shows you, if you choose to listen carefully, that this world is slowly crumbling away, that it's going to end. But until then, we shall live our life in this weird liminal world to our fullest, until once the flames will go out, until we live in darkness, and one day tiny flames shall dance across the darkness again.
The first flame quickly fades. Darkness will shortly settle. But one day, tiny flames will dance across the darkness. embers linked by Lord's Pass.
Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I see you next week.
Ashen One, hearest thou my voice still?